Alright, chat. Welcome to the show. Sorry because yesterday I wasn't able to make it. Had a little bit of real life problems required fixing, but I'm here now. Interesting thing. Someone watched my video on my main channel and said, if you remember Rage Comics V, you should still remember how not much changed. You had suicide posts on 4chan, and it was actually full of trolls. I kind of understand where you're coming from, but the suicide posts were mostly on 4chan, right? Like, it wasn't something on the internet. Like, even back then, the internet had the face, and the face was, like, various public forums, social media like Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth. And 4chan was like the back of the internet. It was the edgy part of the internet. And even on 4chan, like, the suicide posts weren't quite often. And if you posted there, like, yeah, you're going to have anonymous people trolling you. And the trolling thing was also specific to, like, certain boards, like Something Awful and a couple of other boards. It wasn't the internet. Like if you went on 9gag or MMO Champion or, like, every other forum, you wouldn't have, like, people that go there to start shit with others. Like you didn't have people dedicated to constantly start up shit. But now if you go online, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's whatever, like, you have people that are professional shit stirrers. Like they just go around, and the reason they do it is they're part of a bubble, and they have, like, various social networks that are connected to each other. And they try to find anyone that's against their bubble. They use that as outrage in order to find likes and retweets. Right? So, like, they're professional shit stirrers in a way. And that's pretty much the internet. I'm not condemning it. I'm just observing it. And I'm making my own notes, thinking that, yeah, if this keeps up for, like, 10 or 20 years, society will have a problem. Now, the worst thing that will happen, and I'll tell you the future. Like, I'm predicting what you're going to see in 5 to 10 years. Social media is going to become insufferable. And if the AI keeps going, it's going to be incredibly seductive. Like, if a 16-year-old has to choose between going on social media and having people attack him nonstop and criticizing and everything he says is logged, versus having a succubus waifu on ChatGPT, that 16-year-old is going to choose the succubus waifu, and you're going to see people a lot more isolated than they are now. And the isolation is going to happen because of the social media algorithm and the constant promotion of this bubble mentality, where you have, like, people into various groups being forced by the algorithm to never negotiate, never have context, never have nuance. And the AI isn't like that. The AI agrees with you. The AI can be shaped by you. It's different, right? And so, yeah, I mean, your kids are going to be addicted to AI. That's my take. Based on how things are going, you're going to have offline Alexas, if you will, offline AI assistant. Everyone is probably going to have one on their phone. And that's the thing that your kids are going to talk to. This interview broke the internet by Asmongold Clips. Check it out. Is the interview for Twitter, right? Where Asmongold talks about improving Twitter streaming service? Because I know he wanted to do that, and it's my video for my secondary channel. I would find it really interesting. I don't think that Twitter necessarily has a problem with UI for streaming. It's kind of difficult to say, like, what it would take for Twitter to catch on. Maybe, I don't know, like, maybe if it allows certain pornography, like, that would create a genre. Like, you'd have artists that are, like, furry artists or anime artists just going around on Twitter and streaming. Like, you need something that no other platform has, right? And every other platform, like, bans not safe for work shit. So Twitter, by allowing not safe for work, it already does, right? Like, if it allows an artist to draw a succubus with big tits and talk while doing it and live streaming that, You know, like you can create certain communities that don't exist, and once those communities are there, they branch off into other safe for work activities, and they branch from there, and then maybe you'll have like actual streaming. At this point, I don't know, because like most people already have their audience on other streaming websites. Like most people either stream on Twitch or they stream on YouTube. But if you are allowed to like stream not safe for work stuff and monetize that, yeah, I can see like cam girls, and I can see a lot of people using it. And once you have the base and it normalizes the live streaming on the platform. But the thing is like this, I don't think that Twitter wants live streams. Like live streams are really expensive to host on a back-end wise. I do believe that YouTube, if they could, they would get rid of them. But like you need to have them as a platform. You need to have them integrated. They cost a lot of bandwidth. They're very expensive. And so maybe this is why they don't have it. Elon just needs to wait for Twitch to burn down. I pray that we don't live the day to see Twitch burning down. All that mental asylum being released on the internet is not safe for our mental well-being. I remember the fall of Tumblr, and it was absolutely dreadful. I do not want to see the fall of Twitch. Not in my lifetime. Like, if I could do anything, you know, if Twitch told me that they're going bankrupt and they had a donation, a GoFundMe, I would unironically pay as much as I could just to keep the lights running there. Can you imagine Hassan Piker on other services? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm almost 43, and with each passing year, I understand current world less and less. I dread to think where all this is going. I gotta say, you know, I'm not really that doom-pilled. Like, there are certain advantages of our world, but certain disadvantages too. Obviously, it's worse than things were in 2016. But I wouldn't say it's all doom and gloom. Apparently, Asmongold did an interview with Bernie Sanders, where he talks about the Democrats Party. All right, I'll check it out. Not on this stream though, because we're going to talk about something else. But I'll probably make a video about it on my secondary channel. Elon should buy Twitch and keep it exactly as it is now, a containment zone. I think if Elon buys Twitch, the meltdown alone will be worthwhile. Like, I want you guys to remember how it was when Elon Musk bought Twitter and the absolute meltdown and shit show that we saw then. Now imagine that he buys Twitch. Can you imagine Hassan Piker though? Because like the whole thing with Hassan Piker is him having someone that guards his back, right? Like someone on Twitch makes absolutely sure that he's nice and comfortable and everything that he does is safe. You know, like he can break the rules, he can do whatever he wants, he's never going to get into trouble. Now imagine if Elon Musk bought Twitch and Hassan realizes that he's losing that. I want you to imagine the meltdown. Because the thing is, like, here's why Hassan is so popular, right? If you were to allow me to have 100% free speech and to be able to say and do whatever I want, I guarantee to you this channel would blow up. Like, within a month, I would have at least 500 people watching. In 2 months, I would have 1,500. But if I were to actually do the content that I want to do in order to be entertaining, I would get banned. Like, I would get terms of service violations, right? Now, Hassan Piker doesn't operate by my rules. Hassan Piker can say the most edgy, controversial shit. Because the reality is, controversial shit is not bad for business. If you say offensive things, people actually like that. People talk about it, people engage with it. The more offensive you are, the more disgusting you are, the more people want to see that. They will hate watch you. The problem is you get banned. Like, the platform itself cracks down on you. Look at the Dave Chappelle Netflix special. Dave Chappelle was very offensive and extremely profitable. But they wanted to crack down on him, right? And if Netflix wouldn't have said no, he would have been gone. And because of that, he lost a lot of businesses. Like, he lost venues, he lost places where he wanted to talk. People disassociated with him. Not because he wasn't popular and didn't have an audience, but because of the culture. And so, if you have an individual like Hassan Piker, which can be as edgy as he wants, say anything he wants, do whatever he wants, well, he's not playing by the rules. Now, the thing is, Hassan isn't that edgy. You know, nothing that Hassan says is something that I wouldn't have a problem with saying it as a joke either. Like everything Hassan said, I can LARP as well. You know, I can say the most offensive shit that would make Hassan Piker look like a child. Like if I actually wanted to talk about the Middle East and Israel and shit, like, oh my god. You know, like Hassan Piker would look like a little baby. And so if the rules were applied equally to everyone, well, Hassan would immediately lose, right? Either if the rules are applied evenly, then he gets banned. Or if the rules are applied evenly but everyone has free speech, then he would be boring. There's no victory for him in a world where everyone plays by the same rules, right? Either terms of service are applied and he flies within a week, or we change the rules and everyone has free speech. And I guarantee to you, you're going to have someone like JF just completely outdoing Hassan Piker. You'd have JF going like, and this is how you get away with murder, hypothetically speaking. In order to evade the Canadian police, you need to do this and this and that. And if I was Benjamin Netanyahu, this is how I would do it, right? Like this is how I would manage to solve the Palestine situation without the International Criminal Court finding me. I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu is strategically thinking, right? But you have a stream like that, and boom. Like Hassan Piker would immediately just pale in comparison. Yeah. Like if I did it, if I was Benjamin Netanyahu, oh goodness. I would just say, look, there is now a mass migration towards like 5 or 6 nations, and we're sending them Palestinians, and I would only send like 1,000, maybe here, maybe there. But when people would ask, well, where's the others? What happened to them? And I would say, I don't know. They went on a journey. They went on a beautiful adventure like Palestinians often do. Can you find them? No? Well, maybe they're in Poland. Maybe they're visiting. I don't know. All I know is that I took them from Palestine. I took them from Gaza. And I dropped them off in front of Egypt. And they went on an adventure. They often go on an adventure. Now, if they're not in Egypt, I don't know where they are. You know, maybe they went to the European Union. The world is a big place. The desert is harsh and unforgiving, but they wanted to go. You know, I kept them there. They said it's a prison. And I said, well, it can't be a prison. It's violating human rights. And so I took all of the Palestinians on a car and I drove them all the way to Egypt and to Syria and to the European Union, and I just dropped them there. I didn't ask any questions. They wanted to go, you know. I wait for them to come back. Maybe one day they will return to Gaza, but until that day, right? Like imagine if you make a stream like that. Like, do you think Hassan Piker can compete with that? Huh? You animate it. You do a little bit of VTuber there. You do a little bit of an animation to make it look a little bit better, right? More polish. Add a couple of sad songs. There you fucking go. Top material. 1,000? No country deserves 1,000. Jordan, Egypt. There's not a single country they don't try. I don't think Solid Slug understood what I was saying, right? Like, I don't think he actually got the meat of it, the actual concept of my words. Chat, help Solid Slug understand what I was implying, right? It's a Gundam would have 1 million subs if he could say what he wanted. I agree. It's a Gundam. I used to follow him religiously because he had like such an amazing channel. And unfortunately, he had to downplay his content. And I understand why he does it. I get why he is toning down his content. It's because YouTube cracked down on him. Like, first they demonetized his videos, and then they went after his sponsors, and the rule was clear. Leave the Twitch thoughts alone. And it's like, okay, well, We're back to boring shit, right? And I don't blame him. Like he's making boring content now, and I don't watch it. But I don't blame him. I make boring content too, for the same reason. I used to have streams, chat, back in my day when I was a big man. I used to have streams with 600 people watching. 600, back then it was a lot. Now it's not. But like back then, 600 people on a stream was a successful stream. And so, why did I stop? Well, because of the crackdown, the censorship. Had to chill the fuck out. Susan's ghost keeps following him around. Does he still talk about Susan's ghost? I don't even know the name of the new YouTube CEO. The world is better not hearing about Pokimane. Man, like, there's going to be a time when Pokimane is going to be 50. Like, 50 years old. I wonder, like, if we're still going to hear about her then. It's interesting that she still hasn't transitioned. I definitely think that a lot of these e-girls that became famous for copyright striking PewDiePie, even though when he didn't deserve it, I do think that they're going to have an avatar in the future. Like all of a sudden they're going to have a VTuber. It's like, look, chat, we got a VTuber now. We're going to have a VTuber grandma. Does Pokimane have a husband? Hold on, I need to check this. Hold on, I need to see if Pokimane has a husband. I know that It's a Gundam is her husband, but like I'm curious unofficially. Does Pokimane have a husband? I'm asking ChatGPT. It's searching the internet. I'm generally curious. No, Pokimane is not married. As of her latest public statement in February 2025, she is happily single. Okay, chat, please tell me. Who is this gullible? Like, no, seriously, is there a person on Earth that is this fucking stupid? No, like, how can you believe that a woman who's a millionaire is charismatic enough to have thousands of people watching, is a celebrity, and it just happens to be single? Like, what's wrong with her? Is she stinky? Like, does she smell that bad? Right? No, like, seriously, don't get me with the poor guy shit. Like, let's talk real for a bit, right? Like, let's talk real world stuff. If you told your father, who doesn't, like back before the internet, right? You told your father there will be a woman out there that is a celebrity, has millions of people watching her. Everyone around the world has heard of her. She's young, she's charismatic, she's a millionaire, and yet not a single man on planet Earth, like out of 7 billion people, you cannot find a single guy with a cock that wants to date her. Like, come on, you know, obviously she has someone. You cannot change my mind on this. Like, you cannot gaslight me. But here's the thing. Every single e-girl does this, right? Like, they all say they don't have a boyfriend. And if you actually ask them, like, if you're a content creator and you talk behind the scenes with a guy that knows a guy or with them, not only do they have boyfriends, they're married. Some of them have kids. And the people buy this. And it's kind of like wrestling, you know? When wrestling was popular and everyone was wondering, oh, is it fake or is it real? And then when people found out it's fake, they still watch it. It's the same shit with the e-girls. It's like wrestling. Everyone wonders, like, are they single or are they not? Obviously, they're not. Like, I keep saying this. Imagine Darkside Phil managing to have not one, but I think like 2 or 3 relationships. The man is a couch potato. You know, like the man is the most basic bitch human imaginable. Right? Like, you know who Darkside Phil is because you live with him. You live with him if you watch his content. And yet women still go with him, right? Why? Because celebrity status, that's why. It's like he's getting people watching his channel and therefore he's popular. And if Darkside Phil manages to get women to want to be with him, imagine if you're an actual hot chick online, not having a single guy, like, get the fuck out. Why? Does she not have a sex drive? Does she not have hormones? Did Pokey have kids on the download? I don't know about Pokey, but I do know others that do, yes. Like, I know content creators that are women who tell the chat that they're single and they have children. That's wrong with all young, pretty women. Those who want aren't good enough. Those who they want have better options in a row waiting for them. The difference is that guys don't care about celebrity status in women. Oh, get the fuck. Oh, come on. Really? Really? Like you're telling me that if I was to pay you $10,000 and say, find me a guy that wants to marry Pokimane, and Pokimane would be like, I will marry anyone that you find, you would not be able to find one guy? You would not be able to find one guy that would marry Pokimane for $10,000? Oh, come on. Dude. Let's be real. Of course, like, people like that are, like, I'm willing to bet if you get into her DMs, and I'm making this about Pokimane, but like every celebrity, every e-girl, right? Get into their DMs and they're full of thirst. Like, where do you think they get their millions of dollars? If no man likes them, right? They don't like them, but they donate money. Why? For the content. Oh, I see, right. So it's their personality that, Did they get millions of dollars from simps? Like, what are we talking about? Like, there's people throwing their money at them. They're like, the whole controversy with It's a Gundam and Pokimane started because he went on Reddit and there were married people getting a divorce because their wife has had enough. Like, the wife was upset because they kept throwing the rent money on Pokimane. Right? Like you have a millionaire, like a person living like a royal, munching off the cash of people that are now going to be homeless because they can't pay rent. Like, this is what we're talking about. Like, no, absolutely men want celebrities. Now, obviously, maybe you're different. Maybe you're not attracted into that. But, like, no, men do want celebrities. Popularity is important. Men want the popular girl. That's why she's popular. If people didn't want her, she wouldn't be popular. Anyway. Millions and millions of dollars, yes. Both sides hate anime now. Both sides always hated anime. Alright, let's talk about this interesting Forbes article. Which appeared in 2016. Now, it's important to explain why people like anime, right? First of all, anime is a different level of storytelling than Western storytelling. And that's a good thing, It shows that humanity is capable of creating various cultures that are like different paths. Like, it's not like one is good and the other is bad. It's different paths. So, the West was focused on creating, before 2016, stories with clear morality. Like, for instance, Batman never kills. Superman is a symbol. The hero usually does good things. The villain does bad things. They're like clear cut. You gotta, and the story has a structure, the journey of the hero. Like, for instance, Star Wars, right? You got Luke Skywalker, he's the weenie, he's a loser, but then he starts the journey, and through trial and hardship, he manages to become better, and eventually fights the evil, blah, 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 right? Like, if you watch The Critical Drinker or EFAB, they constantly talk about the journey of the hero. And that's pretty much Western storytelling, right? Now, when you look at Japan, things are different. Japan, as a culture influenced by Buddhism and Taoism, they don't believe in absolute good and absolute evil. They believe in complexity, right? Not the social justice type of complexity, but complexity in the sense that every person has good and bad within them. It's like yin and yang, like two wolves fighting with each other. And so, yeah, the hero, Goku kills. He doesn't have a problem with killing. Like, Goku has killed people. Naruto has also killed people, right? And these are like some of the best examples of anime. But like, in anime, you can have a hero that kills, right? The hero is complex, like understands society, tries to adapt based on the utilitarian aspects of society, like completely different moral system. For instance, Death Note, right? Like, Death Note isn't a Western story. Like, there's no journey of the hero there. The hero, the protagonist, if you will, is actually the villain. And the story is not to teach you about a moral lesson, right? Do not steal, do not, no. The story is to look at what would happen with a person that gets absolute power, and he is just like this cold, rational individual, and how he wants to initially use the power for good to get the world rid of crime and only kills criminals, but like power corrupts him, right? Completely different story, completely different themes. It has nothing to do with the journey of the hero, but yet it works. Attack on Titan, similar shit, right? Like, oh, it looks like it has the journey of the hero, but it's actually the journey of a monster. But the monster may have a point, because the world was monstrous to him. And so, he did something which may be considered self-defense or may be considered Hitler, depending on who you ask. So, like, anime has, like, different morality, which is not subversive, because, like, it's not that they reject Western morality. They simply don't know of it. Like, they grew without it. They grew with their own moral system. Unlike the woke, which the woke just take Western morality and reverse it, subverse it, right? And that's why their stories are shit. They're not trying to create something. They're just trying to pervert something. And that's why the woke aren't making art, while the Japanese are. Like, the Japanese reject Western morality. Sometimes it intersects with Western morality. Things like do not kill, do not steal. Yeah, they exist in Japan as well. But for instance, the idea of the hero killing, in certain circumstance, they say yes, of course. Naruto killing someone to save the village, absolutely. Why not? They're more based on honor, right? Like, do not bring dishonor, respect the elders, respect your family, like other traits which may exist in the West as well. But anyway, the idea is that people in the West, right, they grew up with Walt Disney and with Western animation. They now see anime and they're fascinated. Because it's interesting, right? Like in Dragon Ball, you have Goku beating up Red Ribbon guys. You see a kid that is running around, that is beating people up. Sex. Sex is not used as something taboo or in a way like it was used in the West in Baywatch or TV shows where all of a sudden people start fucking. There's absolutely no reason for it. It's just all of a sudden they, like in Spartacus or Game of Thrones, they start having sex. No, in anime it's used mostly as slice of life, fan service, comedic, if you will, right? It's made to make people laugh. And it's also, it's arousing, it's titillating, but it serves a comedic purpose. It's tied into the plot. It's not like all of a sudden the characters have sex. In fact, in that most anime, characters don't have sex at all. Like, you do have fan service in Dragon Ball, right? You can see Bulma showing her tits to Mount Roshi, and Mount Roshi just has blood coming out of his nose. Is that for a comedic purpose? And it is arousing, of course, but unlike the West, it's different, right? You have characters that die. In the West, they would never show death before, in the old comic books and stuff. And so it created an attraction. And people that were woke absolutely hated it. Why? Because the woke were trying to pervert Western art, not by creating something different, as I mentioned before, not by creating their own path, but by simply putting the Western path upside down. And so people found it disgusting, disturbing, and anime started competing with them, and leftists were seething. They were absolutely seething. It's like, well, hold on a little bit. Why do you have a choice? Because we co-opted every single Western entertainment system. We co-opted Disney, we co-opted Marvel, we co-opted DC, we're co-opting the gaming industry, everything is woke. Why are you watching anime? Why are you running away from us, right? And so they were hating anime. They would say only a Trump supporter would watch anime. One Piece lives longer than Looney Tunes? Oh, God. I think that's true. It has God's journey. Yeah. I wonder if the show Young and Restless has more episodes than One Piece. Like the Young and Restless was the oldest soap opera. It had probably like 3,000 episodes or something like that. Like the young people they hired in the beginning got old, and they had to hire a new generation of actors just to keep the show going. People watch anime because the West comes up with slop like Star Wars Acolyte. Yeah, like Star Wars Acolyte is not original. Okay? Like they're not trying to create something new. They're perverting what Star Wars was about. If you want an example of people creating new shit, the communists, right? Like the communists in the Soviet Union, they created their own style of music, their own style of art, and it was beautiful, you know? I can look at the totalitarian regime and say, okay, there's beauty in it. But when you look at what the West is doing now, they're not doing what the communists did. It's like, okay, let's make our own music, let's make our own art. They're taking shit that's already made. Like the Soviets didn't take Beethoven, right? They didn't take Mozart and be like, all right, let's subvert Mozart, let's subvert Beethoven. Like let's take something that was done and just spit it around. You know, let's make the villains the heroes and the heroes the villains. No, like the Soviets had their own stories, their own versions. And some of them, yeah, like even today, there are certain films from the Soviet era that are actually funny. They're worth watching. In Poland, there is still a TV series called Clan. It is 4.5 thousand episodes. Jesus fucking Christ. Slap in Japan isn't popped up and promoted. If you like something, you like it. That is, well, it used to be true, but now everything is corporate. So yeah, no, even Japanese slap is being promoted. But yeah, I can definitely understand what you're saying. No, like the thing in Japan, especially when it comes to creativity, you have a Japanese developer. I think like no, not a developer. The CEO of Sony actually said this a couple of weeks ago. He said that Japanese art has already matured. Like they reached maturity in the sense that people understood that there is a wall between fiction and reality. And in order to have soft power as a nation, you need to allow art to be free. Just don't make bureaucratic tape around it. Just allow as much things as possible to exist in art. And so you have like the most bizarre shit coming out of Japan, right? Like you have, oh, this guy died and now he's been isekai'd into a vending machine. This guy managed to get access to a death note. There's titans running around destroying buildings and eating people. And they ate this kid's mother right in front of them in a grisly fashion. And there's blood and gore. Right? Like they allow all of this wacky shit and they just shotgun it into the market and the good stuff just happens to rise up. If enough people buy a manga or a comic book, then that one gets an anime deal. And that's pretty much how it is. And so when you're looking at it like that, it's why Japan has a lot more popularity now than Disney. And unfortunately, the West, instead of saying, all right, we're going to compete with that on the same level, we're going to do the same, they're like, no, we're going to crack down on Japan. We're going to make it so that if they want to sell stuff into our country, it has to be funneled through our businesses, and our businesses are going to have censors, much like China has its own censors, and they're going to have to start following our morality and our values. And while Japan plays bold, China doesn't. And so now you're going to end up with the West competing with the bottom of the barrel, with the sloppest of the slop, the gacha games and shit that comes out of China, and the West doesn't have an answer for it because it lacks the talent. We've suffered under 15 years of feminism too, everything targeted towards women in the West. Then they're surprised men go to manga anime. Well, which country are you from, Dallahan? Are you from Japan? American Outlier. Hi V, hope all is well. If they can make an anime about a vending machine, I think our manga will have a chance to get an anime too. Well, I don't know. Like the way things are going, I'm sorry to say this, but the way things are going, they want to please Netflix. They want to please Crunchyroll. They want to please all these Western companies like Amazon. And so they have censors now and requirements. And so it's possible your manga will become an anime, but you'll have to be asked to make a lot of creative concessions. Like, some of your female characters will have to be desexualized, the violence will have to be toned down, alcohol will not have to be shown, so on and so forth. And even if you're going to say, well, fuck Netflix and fuck Amazon and whatever, they may say, well, yeah, but it's legislation. Like, if you want your manga to be sold in the European Union, then look, they have laws against showing drugs on the screen. They have laws against showing booze and alcohol, right? If you want to show like a sexy lady, it needs to be made sure that she is 18 and not 17. You can't like one of the genres that I think is going to die soon is high school romance. Like, high school romance was a very popular Japanese genre. It was very popular with young men, right? Like, women like Twilight, women like 50 Shades of Grey. And then you have like high school romance shit. And a lot of young men all of a sudden like romance movies. And they're watching it. And now it's like, well, hold on, it's problematic. Like, this girl is 17 or 16, like, she's legal in Europe. But in Japan, it's also legal. However, Visa and MasterCard don't like that. You know, like, there's legislation now being proposed. It's like, well, what are you doing? What are you encouraging? What are you saying? Do you want people to become like Dr. Disrespect? And so there's that controversy, right? Like, we are living in an age where the West can't compete with entertainment, so they censor and ban anything that's more popular. And the problem is, like, once you ban something, it's asymmetrical. Asymmetrical in the sense that once a ban passes, it's very difficult to remove it. Because if you're the politician that tries to remove it, you get a lot of flack, right? Imagine you're the politician that says, yeah, actually, you know what? Art should be allowed. And now it's like, oh, so you're like, okay with 17-year-olds being drawn in fan service? Oh, no, right? Yeah, High School of the Dead, I think it was called. What was it, right? The one with zombies and girls, which was like really over the top and shit. Yeah. Well, I think I saw it on RTL when I was a kid. Yeah, High School of the Dead was on RTL too. Like, that was hilarious. Like, all the fan service and all of that. But now it would probably be radioactive. The anime with zombies and anime girls. Yeah. Well, if you look at a lot of the old animes, like shit that was in the early 2000s and 2010, you even saw nipples and the violence was extreme. Like, some of the most over-the-top violence you could imagine. The themes were very dark and mature. And now everything is watered down because of the streaming services. There is some truth with that, says American Outlier. Remember I told you about Ubel Blatt, amazing manga. But the anime, they sanitized it to hell. And back very disappointed by it. Well, look at the controversies that happen, right? You have, what was it? Demon Slayer, right? One of the most popular mangas. And in Demon Slayer, you have like this chick, which is a little girl, but she's infected by demonic power, and she like can transform into an actual woman, right? Now, there's no sex scenes in it, but like when she transforms, she's getting like big tits, her clothes are ripped off like the Hulk, there's some fan service in that. Westerners just can't compute. It's like, well, what does it mean? What are you saying? What is this? What is this? Now, the thing is, I don't know if they're generally upset about it. Like, before they brought the argument, I didn't even notice. It's like, okay, it's a fictional world. It's kind of like, what is it? Shazam in DC Comics, right? Like, Shazam is a 12-year-old kid. There she goes, Shazam! And then he transforms into this Chad. And Wonder Woman is lusting after him. And there's even like, in the comics, it's implied that Wonder Woman and him actually dated, right? But it's like a 12-year-old kid and he's like, Shazam, right? But it's fiction. It's not supposed to be taken that serious. You're not supposed to look into it, right? You're supposed to enjoy it as entertainment. But again, like with Demon Slayer in the West, they freaked the fuck out. And there was like attempts to cancel it. And you gotta wonder, like, do they freak out because they're generally upset or because it's competing with Disney? Because, like, one issue of Demon Slayer outsold the entire Western industry. And so, like, the question is, like, why can't the West create shit so that Demon Slayer isn't popular? So that when you... Because the thing is, they used to do that. Like, I remember when I was younger and anime became a thing, And I was telling people, it's like, hey, there's anime there. And they would be like, who fucking cares? Like, that's for kids, right? It's cartoons. Like, I'm watching Stargate. I'm watching Battlestar Galactica. I'm watching, what else was there? Not Deep Space Nine. Not Battlestar Galactica. Babylon 5. Babylon 5, right? Like everyone was like, okay, no, these are shows for adults. Like, real people watch this shit because it's so much better than anime. And to be honest, it kind of was, right? Like, Western animation and Western TV shows were far superior than the anime at the time. If you had that, very few people would have watched Demon Slayer now. Yeah, the original Star Wars, much better than most animes. But what can you do? What can you do? If you're going to moralize and bring bureaucracy in art, and you're destroying your entertainment because you're not producing art, you're producing products, other countries that focus on art are going to dominate you. And now they're trying to regulate Japan, and they're going to try to make it so that it flows through Netflix and Amazon and shit. And so China is going to take the place now. But what can you do? It's not just the woke virus. It's that a lot of people are treating art now as a Rorschach test, right? Like, if you like certain type, and this is a Western thing. It's since if you play violent video games, you're a violent person, right? Like, if you support something in art, if you like Attack on Titan, you're a fascist. I don't think the West will ever rid themselves of this morality. Like the West is the fun police incorporated, right? Like thought policing on steroids. And until this ideology goes away, until people realize, like, maybe we shouldn't care what other people think and judge them by their actions, until you reach that point, people will be obsessed with constantly guessing what other individuals think, right? Like, this is why you have feminists, which are like, oh, you said a rape joke, so you must be a rape apologist. You're glorifying rape. You said a race joke, and therefore you're a racist, right? You like this meme? I mean, the idea of harassing someone for liking a Twitter post, that's a Western thing, right? Oh my goodness, he liked this post. He clicked the like button. Like, okay. It doesn't help that most modern writers have never struggled, seen war, or not even worldly. I don't know if that's the case. I think, like, they have different struggles, but they don't want to talk about it. I mean, the COVID pandemic alone should have given writers a lot of fucking struggles, right? I expected that COVID will shake the foundations of creativity, and we would have had, like, some actual interesting stories coming from that. But no, like, no one even, like, if you're just looking at movies and video games and you see COVID, you wouldn't even know it exists. And so, going back to Forbes, this is from 2016, why getting off to anime porn is shorthand for supporting Donald Trump. On Tuesday evening, GOP consultant made Twitter waves with his claim that Donald Trump supporters are mostly single men who masturbate to anime. I can explain what this is, right? Why did they think that Donald Trump supporters are single men who masturbate to anime? Because on social media, a lot of people that used it in 2016 were young people, right? Like, the older generation was using Facebook, or they weren't getting engaged with the internet at all. And so many right-wingers were young, right? Now, the West was embracing the culture of ugliness. They were starting to embrace the ugly aesthetic. Representation, diversity, inclusivity, and equity, right? Like the mass defect Andromeda shit. And so a lot of right-wingers were getting banned left and right. And what they did was they would use anime PFPs. They would use anime accounts, usually with a smug girl, or a girl that's that pornographic meme, that hentai meme with the woman crying, saying, "Baby, the economy is dying," and the chat is like, "I don't care," or something. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The idea was, like, they're taking it as a joke. They're not serious, right? Like, it's a burner account. It's something that they do knowing it's going to get banned, and presenting themselves as a smug, underage anime girl that uses slurs and shit was hilarious. Like, seeing people overact to that, you know, seeing people overact to Skullfuck 47, which has this PFP, and is calling you the gamer word, that created a lot of ass hurt with leftists. It made them feel uncomfortable, right? And so it gave the illusion that, oh yes, Trump supporters are single men who masturbate to anime. The reality is, well, they're single men, yes, because most young men are single, statistically speaking, right? Like, they haven't managed to get a job, they still need to go to university, they still have obligations. And so women are dating upwards, they're dating the older men that already have a car and an apartment in this economy, if you can believe it or not. And so, yeah, sure, if you have men which are young, yeah, they're going to be single. And by the way, like, this idea of masturbating to anime, I gotta say, am I wrong to say that masturbating to cartoons is better because you don't have to kidnap a woman to do it? Because I keep hearing this porn is exploitative, Pornhub, like a lot of underage women, the dark cultures of pornography. Okay, yeah, no, absolutely, right? You wouldn't want someone's daughter to appear on the internet. But, like, you don't want the replacement either. Like, that's okay. In the future, everyone will probably use AI chatbots anyway, so it's not going to be anime either. This is an intentional incendiary statement that Wilson says he made distinctly to troll Trump's followers. First of all, as any anime fan will let you know, it's called hentai, a specific genre of X-rated Japanese anime cartoons. But what's interesting is that in order to intentionally make people angry, Wilson targeted anime geeks as an insult. Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Anime is universal. It's not like for right-wingers. Both left-leaning people and right-wingers watch anime, and they watch it because Western entertainment is shit. So when you say getting off to anime porn is shorthand for supporting Donald Trump, a lot of leftists that also got off to anime porn were upset that you're calling me a Trump supporter. Like the leftists wouldn't be upset that you're shaming him, right, for his degenerate fetishes. They would be like, wait, you're calling me a Trump supporter? What the fuck is wrong with you? Passionate geeks have always been a target for society's anxiety. In the 80s, when concern about Satanism was at an all-time high, Dungeons & Dragons players were the center of a moral panic, just as comic books were in the 1950s. During Star Trek's heyday, fans of the show were described as obsessive and gross in articles published as 1975. Again, I'm reading from Forbes magazine, just so you know. Today, the line between pop culture and nerd culture has never been so slim. Our collective society freaks out over Star Wars and geeks about Harry Potter. But anime, with its foreign roots and cross-cultural learning curve, remains on the fringes. And this political jape indicates that poking fun at anime fans is still fair play. In November, New York Magazine columnist observed that among himself and his friends' Twitter followers with anime avatar photos tend to be the most fervent supporters of Gamergate and similar conservative political movements. This passion, needless to say, came with a barrage of harassment towards anyone that disagreed with them. If you are besieged by trolls and are also okay with blocking people who might be extremely intelligent and engaging and also frequent otaku, the anime avatar is mostly, though not entirely reliable indicator of trolldom, and block anyone you see with one. The confirmation bias is that people with anime avatars spend more time online and therefore are less socially adjusted. It's the same way Wilson's statement uses anime as a shorthand for unsavory, unlikable person, who also doesn't share your political views. It doesn't help, and I say this as somebody who often has an anime avatar, there are indeed people with anime avatars who harass, just like harassers with every other type of avatar. Yeah, so, like, the thing is, like, in 2016, things were getting polarized. The left wouldn't have anime avatars, they would have mental illnesses. I'm not kidding, by the way. Like, this is not a joke. Yeah, like, the left would have, you would see a social justice druid, that's the name, a World of Warcraft character, and then it would have ADHD, bipolar, autism, Asperger's, right? Like a sausage of illnesses. And then someone realized, okay, maybe it's not good to glorify mental illnesses, right? Like, people may think that I'm retarded or something, and they use pronouns instead. Like that's when they use she, her, they, them, the, right? And the other side, the right wingers, would use anime profiles again for the trolling reason. It's a burner account. It looks ridiculous if you're calling someone a slur and you're using it from behind the avatar of a 12-year-old girl that looks smug, right? It causes mental damage. Plus, you have the artistic aesthetic from a culture that didn't say fuck beauty, right? Like, if you look at the way anime characters are drawn, they're drawn in the Disney idea of being able to constantly and fastly reproduce them, right? Because like anime is supposed to be animated by hand, at least it was in the beginning. And so you need to have shortcuts on how to draw a human face, right? And because of that, it doesn't allow for much details. Like all the anime characters' head look the same, right? Like they're the same geometric shape. And you have to use hair and the eyes in order to generate expression. It's very difficult, by the way. Like it's an art form that I guess I can't say it's more difficult than the West. It's just different. In the West, like when you draw a night elf, it requires a lot of detail, a lot of attention, and being meticulous, right? If you look at these anime girls, they don't really have that much detail into them. But what you need to do is to use the hair, the eyes, and the colors and the shading to generate real human emotion. So you have to do more with less, right? Like it's kind of like imagine you're Gordon Ramsay and you have to prepare a dish with only $50 worth of ingredients. While in the West, you have as much money as you want to prepare a dish. And so like making a really good meal is also different, but like from another perspective, right? Because you get what I mean. And so Japan didn't give up on the concept of artistic beauty. Like to draw female characters like this takes a lot of talent. Not everyone can do it. And so people in the West were attracted to the complexity of it, right? Like to the artistic style of it. Because in the West, you had what? You had Steven Universe. You had Adventure Time. You know, just low effort, copy-paste, call art shit that no one likes to identify with. And so, of course, they went for Japan. And if it wasn't Japan, they would have probably went for something else. But right-wingers never rejected the concept of beauty in art, right? Like, and when I say beauty in art, what I really mean is things that take effort, right? Like, if I can do it, because I can draw a Kyle Arts cartoon. I can draw a Steven Universe bullshit. But I can't draw, like, an anime girl from a AAA studio. Holy shit. SRC Baker, my god, thank you for the red super chat. Jesus. Actually, I feel bad coming on your stream for just $25. Here's another 100. Dude, I'm going to get you to become bankrupt. If you keep this up, you're not going. I usually say this to American Outlier as well. But like, if we keep doing this, like, you guys won't have any more money. As this author explains to me, then V, since I came out on Sitter, this doesn't matter. I'm a trans Trump voter. And actually trans, someone on HRT, not that identifying and I like anime. Maybe I'm actually Blair White. Trans people that are right-wingers exist, right? Usually they're ostracized from their own community. They even had like this trans civil war back in the day. It was between, okay, so for those of you who don't know the lore, this was happening back in 2018. In the beginning, before the Democrats came, there were people that were trans, right? Like people that were trans. I don't know how old they are, like how long they existed, but like generally people who didn't identify with the way they're born, right? And so you would have like a person presenting themselves as a woman, dressing like a woman, wanting to be recognized as a woman. Obviously, society didn't bend over to their new persona, but they had like a small circle of friends, a small group of people. Like some of them would definitely accept. It's like, okay, you're a woman, whatever. So like this was classified as gender dysphoria, right? Like a condition that obviously like some people genuinely have. There's another condition called ableism, for instance, which still exists today. Like people who feel uncomfortable having two hands. Like they want to be disabled. They identify as disabled. And so like they would actually chop off one of their hands. It's a condition. But anyway, right, that was like before the woke came. After the woke, they used identity politics, right? So now it's academic. Now it's a thing where anyone, even myself, can I identify as a woman and all of a sudden I become trans, right? Or I identify as zir, her, and all of a sudden not only do I become trans, but I get societal protections. And so the trans community was livid because they never asked for this, right? Like people like Blair White, I mean. They were absolutely livid because they were like, I never asked for this. You know? They never asked for representation either. They never asked for people like Dylan Mulvaney to become like the face. Because they know that, okay, this is going to upset people. This is going to piss people off if it becomes systemic. And it's going to, like, in the long term, like, the pendulum will swing back. And it's going to make my life shit. Which is pretty much what's happening now. And so you have, you know, people like, Caitlyn Jenner as well. Like, Caitlyn Jenner also was a Trump supporter, right? For the same reasons. And you had, like, this actual civil war within the trans movement with people that pretty much were, like, men that just identified as a woman and that's it, right? And they wanted, like, all the prestige and everything else that social justice had to offer to trans people. And then people that actually tried to pass. You know, like, people that did put the effort in order to look like a woman, dress like a woman, talk like a woman, not be a caricature, right? Like Blair White, for instance. And so they would call them true scum, right? Like you're a scumbag for not being inclusive. There was even memes at the time with trans people doing their own thing, and then you have like these weird shaven heads that look like a biker gang, you know, with half head shaven, purple, pink hair, getting into their spaces and being like, you need to be more accommodating, true scum, you know? Trans trenders, exactly. That's the, yeah, trans trenders. You all saw it, Guy. V now has body for a second monitor. I would have to wait at least 1 month before the money comes in. I don't know. Maybe I'll buy another monitor. But like, my fucking god, the electricity prices, man. Now I'm going to still complain. The electricity prices in Romania, I think like they're 3 times as much as they used to be in 2020. And the main problem with it is that Romania is a producer of energy. Like, we're producing energy. We're not importing. And yet the price of electricity keeps going up. I never had a problem with the transgenders on their own. It's just the pedos I don't like. The thing with the transgenders, and I'll tell you my issue on it. Any ideology that requires the entire human race to bend over to you with no compromise, no nothing, is an ideology that's not sustainable. Eventually, you will piss enough people off that you're going to get pushback. So, like, you can't go around and demand that people use your pronouns. Right? Now, if you go around and you ask for people to use your pronouns, and, you know, like, because the thing is, like, they would dial it up to 11. Like, that's another thing, right? They'll dial it to 11. Like, if you don't use their pronouns, you're committing a genocide. And it's like, dude, come the fuck on, you know? Like, I get it, you know, it's disrespectful, but like, don't you think you're going a little bit overboard, right? And now you're making Twitter to ban people who don't use pronouns? And then it's with the kids, right? Like when you have TikTok videos of teachers and Reddit accounts of people that were trans, and they say, well, yeah, but like my teacher constantly pushed me to become one. And you notice that it's a one-way street in society. Like, if you see a child in school that is a boy playing with dolls, or is a girl that's a tomboy, then it's completely appropriate for the teacher to ask, oh, don't you think you're trans? Don't you think you're stuck in another person's body, right? There's no problem with the teacher asking that. Like, no one would say that the teacher is bad for just presenting an alternative lifestyle. Whether the kid is 7 years or 9 years old, doesn't matter, right? It's like part of the Rainbow Acceptance Coalition. But the opposite, right? If a kid is trans, like you have a 9-year-old that comes up and now calls themselves Loki and wants to be called a boy, and the teacher goes like, well, don't you think that maybe, you should experience adolescence first and make up your own mind? No, that's bigoted. That's harmful. The teacher gets fired. So, like, the push was one way constantly. No negotiation, no debate. And it's like, well, any ideology that behaves like this is not sustainable. Eventually, people will have the courage to impose themselves and say, like, no, we never agreed to this. You're not convincing people, you're terrorizing them. It's pretty much like conversion therapy. Yeah, like, it's no different than gay conversion therapy, but at a societal scale. But anyway, right, chat. I'm going to upload the videos on my secondary channels now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the super chats, American Outlier, SRC Baker, everyone else that donated. I thank you so much. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.